welcome back to another episode of the Infinite Podcast. Apologies for us being super late. That was me. My missus was flying back from Spain, missed every connecting flight, and ended up being back 2 days late. Now my kids are on a completely different time, and they refuse to go to sleep. So I needed some extra sleep and forgot to set my alarm, all that jazz. And then we had some technical issues, as we do. It's not Evie Mux's fault. Welcome back, Holly. How's your week been? What have you been up to?
Hello. It's been a really busy week. But I've done a little bit of gaming. I played four multiplayer games this week. I played GTFO with some friends for the first time. And man, that game is really hard. And I played Fudge. Oh, Ready or Not. That just came out. Hey guys, I see all the hellos. Hi. See Will Swim? I'm watching you. And then we also played DayZ, which I'm not sure that I like, but I'm trying to give it a chance. And there was a really cool little indie game that came to Game Pass called Break for the Dawn, I think. I was getting it on Steam, but then I saw it was on Game Pass. So anyway, it's been fun. Ready or Not is really cool. I really like Ready or Not. Have you guys tried that?
No, I haven't. No.
Ready or Not, here I come. You can't
Watching the
hide.
chat. What is Ready or Not? Oh, Ready or Not. Yes, I know the one you're talking about. It's like a SWAT team sort of simulator where you got to go in and like take out the bad guys.
Yeah, it's kind of like Payday in the way that the game works, but it's clearly not Payday, right? It's like a real like SWAT simulator. It's really good. It's very good. Hi, Gray Monad.
Nice. Bro, how's your week been? What have you been up to? What have you been playing? What's going on with you?
Man, it's been a good week. I have been playing the ever-loving hell out of Donkey Kong Bonanza, or as Danny would call it, Monkey Punch Rock. Oh man, I'm loving it, man. I have to say, I'm this close to giving it a 10 out of 10. Like, I'm loving it that much. It's second to me right now, currently right under Expedition 33. Sea Wolf, what is it? Sea Wolf will swim. Umbra, that's what U5 sings to Decima. I mean, why would it sing that to Decima instead of it? Why would it tell it Ready or Not, here I come? It's beyond it. So I don't see how you came to that conclusion. Sea Wolf swim. But no, yeah, it's easy. Shout out everybody in the chat, by the way. No, Donkey Kong is spectacular, Risk, man. If I know you've been playing Metroid Dread, I would definitely recommend, if you can get it, and if it's not too crazy expensive. I think they got a sale going right now, actually physical, but it might not be over there where you guys are at. But it is worth every penny, I would have to say. I still don't like $70 games. You know what I mean? It's not my thing. Damn sure not 80 for a game. I won't do it. But man, it's dope.
Well, over here they're cheaper. That's the thing. Like, so like
what you say, Gray? Look what Gray wrote.
That's why I was laughing.
But no.
Yeah, I'll put that up on screen. Yeah, we definitely want to talk about that. But look, we'll jump straight in because we're super late. And like you said, I've been playing Metroid Dread. I've been playing Split Fiction with Gray Monad in the chat there. Fantastic mod. Honestly, loving that game. That game is amazing. It's just got so many pop culture references, so many different types of mechanics that are like references to other games. It's just it's solid. It's got to be almost a 10 out of 10 for me, that game. So that's sort of there's a few games in the contender for the year at the moment, and Expedition 33, and that is up top. I'm playing RoboCop. I booted up Chang Fallen Feathers, and the first dude's killed me like 3 times now. I got pissed off and gave up.
Question, let me ask you. With
RoboCop,
you got the newest RoboCop or the one before it? Because then they got one now that just came out, Unfinished Business. I got to get that one.
This is the Game Pass one, so I don't know if it's
it's the first one.
Yeah,
it's the first one. I like that one a lot, by the way. I thought it was really good. It's not like super polished, but it is fun and it's got the pure nostalgia. But I was going to say, with Fallen Feathers, did you get any of that gooning that Xbox Hero was talking about? Any gooning visuals, or was it all up and up for you?
No, I've never been the kind of guy that's like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like for a video game character, that's just not my thing.
Largely the same, although I have been accused
you liar.
of it. See?
You liar.
See? I couldn't even get my words out.
You can't, because you can't be serious.
This is just besmirchment right here. And I would say slander, but I have been accused of gooning to these games, and I am just...
I never called you a gooner. I never said that word.
You have implied it. It's implicitly implied by what you have said, and it has hurt my feelings deeply. Chat, I would ask that you guys throw tomatoes at her, please, for me. But yeah, how you liking Wu-Chang? How the visuals there in Wu-Chang?
I think this is the thing with like a lot of these like Neo and all those games. They have this weird sort of style that's sort of bleached-ish. I don't think Stella had it. Like Stella Blade didn't really have that sort of that visual thing, but they have this like lightly bleached sort of watercolor sort of feel to it. And it's not, honestly, I don't think it's like graphically stunning at all. It's probably not up my alley with what I'm playing at the moment, with the amount of games that I've got on the run. I mean, I'm also playing Wheel World, which is actually quite fun, which is a little Game Pass game if you guys haven't checked it out. I got too many games on the go, man. I don't have time to do a Souls-like as much as I'd love to. That's sarcasm. I'm just a little bit tired of the whole Souls thing, to be honest.
It's overplay. It's a big overplay genre. I mean, I get it, but I think some do it right. I've heard Lies of P. I have not played that yet, but I've heard it's excellent. I've heard that's like one of the better, uses of that type of style. For instance, I mean, Stellar Blade has elements of it, but not quite. It's much more fluent and fast paced, but it has some elements, I guess you can kind of claim. Very loosely.
We do have to jump into it. Let's jump straight into the thing, because we had a breaking news moment literally just before the show went live. We weren't going to talk about this because it didn't exist, but now it does, so we're going to talk about it. So apparently PlayStation is going full third party. Sorry. So I want to read this out. Yeah, so overview is, this is a job posting from PlayStation. Just dropped. Shout out to Charlie Intel for posting this. It says, reporting to Vice President, Commercial Management as a Senior Director of Multi-Platform and Account Management. You'll play a critical leadership role in shaping and executing the global commercial strategy for, wait for it, PlayStation Studios software titles across all digital platforms beyond PlayStation hardware, including Steam, Epic, drumroll please, Xbox, Nintendo, and mobile. This role is accountable for optimizing title profitability, ensuring cross-functional alignment, and leading a high-performing team focused on multi-platform expansion, mid-range commercial planning, and partner platform management. Blah, 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 blah. Wow. So I don't know. I didn't. I did not see this coming. I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't think we'd ever see a PlayStation that would go full third party. But hey, I'm here for it. Holly, did you see this coming? How you feeling about this? You excited to play PlayStation? You did see it coming. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I was on XNC with Colt. What, a year and a half ago? And I said within 2 years we would see we would see PlayStation games starting to come over to the Xbox. And I don't know. I don't get into the arguments about what's first or third party. I don't really care. On the basis of console war. Some would argue that Helldivers 2 is absolutely a PlayStation game that is being
First party.
ported.
Mhm.
Okay, sure. Yeah, sure.
Well, some would argue that, but I disagree. I say it's second party, but that's cool. I mean, me and Colt had that discussion.
I don't consider Death Stranding one of those because Kojima got the rights to his IP back. So he's the one that decided to bring that over and purchase it and do whatever he needed to do to get it back from Sony. So I just consider that a third party game now, of course, right? But I would not expect this to be just a dam that's going to release right in the next 6 months to a year. I still think there's time that this is going to take. And I am not going to say that it's going to be everything, the day one, or even like, who knows? I suspect that there will be a cadence rollout for Xbox similar as there is to PC. That's what I would expect.
Right, so like a 6-month sort of break.
6 months to a year, depending on the game and how much they want to try to make sure that they're milking out of it from their console sales before they move on to other options. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, not only that as well, I think, look, I think that, I mean, if you read the job listing again, there was mentions of Steam. I think they're going to probably start pushing Steam's launches closer to, if not, as I said it when Wolverine was announced. I think that's a day and date PC launch. 100%. I think that's what's happening with that game, and I think it's one of the reasons they've been super quiet about it. I think we're going to start to see a lot of these exclusives just drop immediately on PC. And yeah, if there's a 3 to 4 month break, great. But I mean, this is the thing. We've had this whole Spider-Man 2 conversation. Like, what's the negative now for PlayStation launching a Spider-Man or a Spider-Man 2 on Xbox, that they've pretty much extracted as much value from that game as they can within their own ecosystem in the PC space, and there's nowhere else left to take that IP. I mean, and that realistically, all these IPs that have launched traditionally on PlayStation, they're just basically sitting gathering dust, not really bringing in that revenue. So, I mean, look, I can actually see with this them starting to launch some of these older games on Xbox. Your God of Wars, your Spider-Man, to sort of extract some extra revenue out of it.
And do you remember one more thing before you go on? Do you remember not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago, there was some pretty big rumors floating around about Sunset Overdrive being ported, like remastered and ported to PlayStation? I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that's kind of the first big thing that we see that just goes to both platforms at one point in time. And then maybe the rumors of them reviving that IP and finding a way, right, to work between the two companies is actually very much more real than people thought before.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And RSJ in the chat says, I'm curious how many more either switch sides or go to PC. I think you're talking about PlayStation fans. I think we've seen this slew of Xbox fans that are going to switch sides or go to PC. Already happening. Speaking of switching sides and going to PC, Umbra, did you see this coming?
I actually did see this coming. It's funny because I just talked about this last night on the show. Wait a minute. Oh, what's the horse sound for?
I just, the switching sides.
Okay.
Going to PC.
But I thought I would have the PC. There we go. There we go. Yes.
Here he is. So,
Welcome. But yeah, I talked about this literally with Danny yesterday night and Assassin. I had Assassin as a guest. Shout out to both. And the last one of the major topics was about, Forza being number one for a time on PlayStation, selling 3 million copies, and Final Fantasy 16 being number 4. Donte, are you talking or?
no, he's just waving.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I can't hear you. There's that $1 million smile. But and I was talking about that, and I said, okay, let me craft a question on the fly. And I asked Danny, I said, how soon? Because we saw it coming. We all saw. If you're paying even the slightly enough attention, you'll see that Totoki and all of them are spitting the same type of language, just differently, different wording for just 4 games, essentially, right? Like what Phil said. And so I asked Danny literally that and said, how soon do you, or what games do you think would come first over to Xbox from PlayStation? Nintendo, I don't see happening just yet. It'll be a while, but that was definitely, Sony mentioned. And here we go. Literally the next day, this pops up. And, you got some people hurt right now. I have a guy in my, him, Risk, in my reply. I made a post and I just put boom, basically with Denzel, right? The GIF. And I got people right now like hitting me up. It's a nothing burger, like in denial, like upset. And I think the writing is clearly on the wall.
What stage of grief is this?
It's a nothing burger.
Right now, it's denial right now.
It's a denial stage of grief.
Yeah, it's denial. Yeah. But if you look at what they're talking about, how they say that, and if we look at history, we look at PlayStation and Microsoft, Sony tends to kind of follow after what Microsoft does, if we're being honest, right? And they'll make moves to counter what Microsoft puts out as well, right? I mean, we all remember Microsoft going first for the Xbox One and how that flopped with the announcement, and Sony countering with, oh, let us take our camera out of that thing too and drop the DRM practice we were about to put in there, right? So like in the whole thing of moving to charge, for instance,
clickety clackities. Who's clickety clackities?
Me.
Yeah, that's
I'm typing furiously to see Wolf Swim. Leave me alone.
See, Wolf Swim got you riled up. Just insult Decima Engine. He'll leave you alone. But
UE5 decimates Decima. Anyway,
right, it's true. Yes, see, Riskit has seen the light. But yeah, I mean, where was I at? I was saying like you can I don't know where I was at. I think I was basically saying that essentially, if you've been paying attention, you will see a lot of this. You would have heard, or you would at least have read the language that is leading to this slow walk of what Sony is doing.
Third party.
Exactly. And Microsoft typically leads, Sony kind of follows to see after Microsoft tests the waters. That's Sony's way of, let's dip a toe in, right? And they've seen it already. They've seen how it's paid off by going to PC. They want more of those profits. They're not going to. The one thing that we can rely on from corporations is greed. And we are seeing much more of that with late stage greed with a lot of these companies. And the one thing they want more of is more money. So if you're going to get more money by putting your games elsewhere, the whole thought of, oh, we have to be loyal to our people on our platform, they don't give a damn about that. And people who think they do need to get out of their delusions. So it's definitely going to happen. I don't know if anything will ever be day and date necessarily for Xbox with them. Well, the thing is, I think also too, we have to keep in mind, Sony may make moves, I think, going forward that can benefit them when they put it on other platforms, such as the talk of their games being on Steam and stuff like that, right? We know that's like 6 months to a year out for their ports. It could just be the case that Sony wises up and says, okay, we're going to put our own storefront out on PC that you buy directly from us. They could end up doing that. But I think the thought of them not putting it all over the place to get more profit, the days of that are done. You know, it just makes more sense to put it everywhere and get all the money you can for them. You know, and these projects, we all talked about how these AAA projects, especially what Sony is doing, cost upwards of 300 to 400 million to make. You know, and that's the model they go after too. They've spoken about that before. The AAA model they use, you can't, as to shout out to Sean Layden, you can't sustain that and not get your stuff elsewhere to everywhere rather to sell to bring back enough revenue to, you know, finance those things. So it just makes sense. It just made sense rather for this to see this eventuality. And I mean, it's whatever to me. I've ascended to PC land. Yeah.
So then why are you talking so much about it?
Why can't I? Why can't I? How come I got to be tone police, Holly? Huh? But,
Look, shout out to Biff for nobody
Wow.
celebrating 8 months of membership.
Teasing.
Shout out to Biff.
Wow.
Says Sony's still out here copying Xbox 10 years strong. Yeah, 100%. Like, and that's something that we've seen from. I'm gonna stop saying 100% because someone at work gets really annoyed when someone says 100%, and so now I'm saying it so often to annoy them, it's become part of my language. Got to move on from that. But
it's funny,
you made an interesting point where PlayStation's been cornered.
Somebody else I knew they would always be like, "Yeah, 100%," and I'm like, "Please stop saying that."
Yeah, it's so annoying. I love it. Every time the dude says something, he's like, I'm like 100%. He's like, whoa. I love it. I love it. But PS is, you sort of mentioned that, or you touched on that PlayStation has been sort of pushed to do this, and maybe an option for them would be releasing their own store, which we heard rumors of back in 2022, early 2023. But I really do feel like PlayStation's been cornered into doing this. You've got Xbox releasing a PC style, it's not a PC, but a PC style console with access to Steam, meaning that they'll have access to these PlayStation games. So what does PlayStation do? They're cornered. You know, they're either going to lose money on that deal, on those games being bought through Steam, or they have their own store. And here's the kicker. Here would be the amazing thing. They bring up their own store and pull games from Steam, or they create their own launcher and they make that launcher available on Xbox. Then you're getting, I would imagine Xbox would make it a sweetheart deal to have that happen. You know, then you're making more of a percentage off the games that you sell them. But we got to get to Donte because Donte was having some technical issues. All I heard was something about a cord, and then he disappeared.
It's
Like, there's cords. What if I pull this?
I shouldn't have pulled it. I shouldn't have pulled it.
How's your
That's
week
what
been?
she
What have you
said.
been up to? And how you feeling about this whole
Holly. Holly. Now it's you. It's you this time. Holly's
You should have
getting
heard it before we went live.
She's getting live. All right.
Yeah.
I've been good, man. Week has been great.
Week has been a week.
Week has been a week. Yeah, I'm glad it's Friday. So let's put it like that. Yeah. So all right. So I guess I'll just get into the topic at hand. So this is what I think. I think Sony has been looking at all they need to see was just like some of those top 10 charts where they're seeing a bunch of Xbox games inside of their top 10 being sold on their particular platform. And that is enough to motivate a company to say, what money are we missing out? Because I know they know the same thing would happen if Xbox players saw like a God of War title with inside of the Xbox store or Spider-Man or something like that, right? I mean, just any company is going to sit there and say, if another company's making a move to basically get more sales in software, which is what we make the majority of our money from, why the hell aren't we? Especially in a time frame where these companies are saying that they're not making enough money because of the development cost of games. So the best way to try to get that money back is to put that game in as many places as possible. So to us, it kind of makes sense, right? It seems like that was the logical next step. But I agree with Holly where I don't think it's going to be like the whole slate like instantly or anything like that. I think this is going to be a development process, and maybe they'll kind of slow walk it the same way Xbox is slow walking it before like the floodgate and Band-Aid goes off, especially if they see dividends from doing this, right? So if they see games launch and basically, sell millions of copies on the Xbox side, then that's when eventually the floodgates will open up. But yeah, for us, this kind of has made sense. We've been kind of saying something like this would end up happening for a while. So,
But what does this
Can I say
mean
one
for
more thing?
hardware?
Wait,
Yeah,
can I say one more
absolutely.
thing? Jeff Grubb made a video back in late April, early May, just on his channel. And it like really kind of rocked my brain for a moment when I saw it, and I was like, oh, that's it. He was speculating, just purely speculating, that the reason the Xbox is actually decided we're going everywhere, we're going to be everywhere, we're going to be everybody, everything, all the time, right? Is not necessarily about, I mean, of course it's about revenue, period, first and foremost, right? But one of the ideas behind it was also because if they do this, then there was a strong chance, and I hope I get this right, so forgive me if I don't. But he was saying if they do this, what it does is it puts peer pressure. They were trying to tie a lot of this big movement with the Epic versus Apple case, because that's about closed ecosystems, right?
yeah.
And Apple is losing their butt on that whole closed ecosystem thing. And they're still being petty and doing stuff to shut down Epic even after the court order, right? And they have to keep going back and fighting and fighting. But he was saying that they're trying to get in and do this now and tying it to that to force open ecosystems and to force open markets, so that it's not just about them. What they're doing is they're tying the hands of Sony and others, right? Not just these two, but for mobile, because they want to get into mobile, right? So it's a strong time to show and kind of stand to the side and let Epic do the work, but also, support Epic with this idea of opening everything they have up and moving it forward. So it's really a push to get in, and Sony's the first domino of the bigger players, right? I think Nintendo would just be a much, much harder. It's not a domino, it's like a pillar, right? But it does lead eventually, right, to maybe something like that happening much further down the road. But it's really pushing for regulators to step in and create much bigger open markets that they can tap into, and that other people are forced to allow their users to integrate or be able to access other closed platforms for their users. And then, of course, take the sales on it and all that stuff, right? Because they're looking at it both ways. So, and not just gaming, right? Mobile, and then other aspects of what Microsoft does, probably with AI too. So I thought that was really cool.
Oh, you
Riskit-
think that Microsoft
Riskit-
will integrate AI into gaming?
Duh.
already
Riskit, your
does.
question though, in relation to what does that mean for hardware? To me, that means that hardware has to be more of a differentiator. If you're putting games between both platforms, right? Then the only way you're going to lure people into one or the other is to make sure that your hardware somehow outshines the other, right? It's doing something better markedly than the other ones. That's my hope, at least. Like that's what I've always wanted this to be about, right? Like games should just be like we're objectively playing the games and critiquing the games based on their own merit, not caring about is it coming from a Sony studio or if it's coming from an Xbox studio. But in terms of which console you prefer, well, that should be based upon the performance of the damn console and what features it's providing you. So if we get to the point where that's what's happening, where Sony and Microsoft are having to win us over based upon what their machine can do that the other machine can't do, that's a better ground for me to fight on, to sit there and say this is why you prefer to play one versus the other. Of course, that also ties into like UI and ecosystem and all that stuff. But that's what I hope would come from this if they're both putting their games on everywhere they possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, but then it goes back to, remember, if you guys remember, I was dead against this whole. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was dead against the whole like non-exclusivity thing. I don't know if you guys remember that. Still am. I don't know if we talked about that, but it was something that I continued to bring up. Is a lot of people were saying, that argument, which makes sense in this context of yes, PlayStation is also third party. Xbox is also doing third party. So everyone's doing third party except for Nintendo. Run their own race. That's what they do. But in this contest text, it makes more sense. And the conversation was back then, if you remember, is very similar to this one, is the Xbox has always had the stronger ecosystem. It's always been at the forefront of innovations around the software in their hardware. Not always have they been the most powerful, but for a lot of the times, a lot of the generations, they have been the most powerful. There's only been one that haven't. And their innovations around, their party systems, Xbox Live, going Discord first, achievements, all of these things that make up your ecosystem, all these small little parts that piece together to make up a really strong ecosystem. Even if you look at their noise canceling, for party system, it completely cancels out any background noise that you have now. It's absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you guys have played with the PlayStation player before, and when they've got their mic turned on and it's on COD, and you just want to strangle the flicks, like, turn your mic off, dude. I can hear your missus making dinner in the background. And my point is that Xbox by far has the stronger ecosystem. And like, where does that leave PlayStation's hardware? Like, they're going to have to really, really, really run a pretty hard, solid race to catch up to where Xbox is around all of those things. Even their party system is just terrific.
It doesn't matter for them, man. It doesn't matter for their diehards, man. I remember how everyone went crazy over the narrative about, like, with the SSD and the PS5 was doing so much better than what other SSDs were doing, or what the Xbox SSD would be able to do. And the fandom ate that up. So it doesn't matter to them so much as to, like, as all Sony has to do is sell it, right? In terms of just say that, oh, it does this better than anything else is doing it. Whether it's true or not, that fan base is still going to be there to purchase that particular device. Just like Nintendo fan base is going to be there for marginal upgrades when every time they release a different version of the Switch, right? So it's like the fandom, all they got to do is just basically sell it well. They'll be fine in that regard.
What are you saying, man? Are you saying that?
That people are sheep?
If I ever decided to build a PC, probably the first part that I'm going to look at is always going to be the SSD. No, that's full sarcasm. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, how did that pick up fire? That's the most ridiculous thing to be selling any kind of hardware on. My hard drive runs fast. That's good. What do you think, Umbra? I want to jump to you. Like, we've all played on PlayStation to play Helldivers, all of us, and it's just a rough ecosystem to sort of get around, and it has a smooth as hell looking splash screen. You start screen your OS. It looks, sounds nice. Has that little running in the background, so you feel like you've gone to heaven. One of these bad boys. But so far as functionality, it doesn't function so well. So what's going to be the pitch? Is it going to be power? Is that what's going to be the next differentiating sort of thing? Umbra, how you feel about power? Because I know that you've got an underpowered PC that barely runs any games, and they all look terrible on that anyway.
Oh, hey, listen, far be it for me to talk about PC games.
To toot your own horn?
But you
definitely will. But you will, though. So go ahead.
I'd like to stay humble over here. You know how I do. This 4080 Super, the liquid cooled, I have no qualms about, keeping that on a hush. Liquid cooled with
how much RAM do you got, man? How much RAM do you got in that bad?
64 gigabytes of RAM.
That's crazy, dog. That's
like crazy. Representing like he's got a 5090 and he's just got this tiny little 3080 super.
How many teraflops is it flopping? How many?
4 terabytes of PCI, NVMe. I don't want to talk about that. Though. I feel awkward speaking on that tech. You know what I mean?
I feel you. It's humble, man. You gotta be humble. So keep it humble.
Keep
it humble. I feel you.
I'm trying to keep it grounded. You know what I mean? But if I'm forced to speak on that,
Like literally outside, swinging it around, doing the helicopter.
Look at Gray, he's going through it in the chat. Why does it show like fish emoji in here, but like on YouTube it's like boo, but on here it's like fish.
I know, right? That's wild.
Like,
but that's funnier though. That's mad funnier though, right? It looks much better on this. That's crazy,
right? But so Risk, I'm sorry, I got carried away. What's the question about the tech exactly that you were asking?
I guess what's the differentiating thing? Is it ecosystem or power? Or is it both? Because again, Xbox has always had the better ecosystem. I don't think that that's an arguable point, but I'm sure that there'd be some diehards that would argue it. But let's be real, like Xbox does have the best ecosystem. So what is the next? What's the thing? What's the competition going to be in the next generation? Is it going to be access? Is it going to be power? Like, what's it going to be?
I think it's a mixture of both. I mean, you're right. What is the selling point, right? I think that it's a mixture of things for different people. Power definitely matters for those who are enthusiasts. Us, the hardcore, we want power. We want all those things. We want the features. And Xbox, I agree with you, has the best ecosystem when it comes down to it. Ecosystem matters a lot. Ultimately, though, I think it's going to come down to the games that you get. As far as your platform, what it offers, I think exclusives still matter. I think me and you agree there. Although the future that we're going to, the future where we're going, it seems like that won't be a thing of the future. But as the now, in the traditional sense, yeah, right. Also, I think friends lists matter. I think that those who you typically game with, you're not going to shift all of that to move elsewhere when your friends are not there.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Discord though,
and Discord does. Nobody wants to use that like that when you got your PlayStation or whatever, or your Xbox, right? Not to that.
Well, I mean, like we played a whole bunch of. My son's got. I got him onto Helldivers, and he's sort of getting into it like hard now. He's going to buy it on Xbox, of course. As am I, because we must support the developers. But we were playing the old. I remember Xbox had this whole thing. You get on Discord, then you got to open your app, then you got to transfer it over, and you got to do all this weird stuff. You can't do it inside the PlayStation ecosystem, right? So we were doing that, and it ran pretty well, man. I don't know. I don't think you need to be keeping your friends in the one place.
I mean, that's if people are willing to, I think, step out of their comfort zone. I think most people kind of just want that. It's the same situation with the PC thing. Like, I don't want to have to deal with this, and I want to have to deal with the drivers. That's always the complaint, right?
I feel attacked.
But it's a common thing. Even I said it before I finally saw the light and ascended. But
until there's a problem.
Hey.
We don't get problems though. We only have solutions. It's
only solutions. Yeah, that's right. But I had the same thought until I really got into it myself, and it's not so bad. But people kind of just want that ease of use. And so kind of going out of that from the ecosystem to, I got to move to Discord to do it. I don't think that's a natural thing that people want to really do. You know what I mean? They typically want to stay within the ecosystem of PlayStation or Xbox. It seems like an extra step to go to Discord for them, from what I've seen, at least in my experience with people. But I mean, it's worked. Well, for instance, when we played Halo, when we done like Halo weekends and stuff, like that's worked for Discord when we have a ton of us playing. You know what I mean? But in general, I don't think people want to really step out of Xbox, whatever, to do that. But I think just going back, all those differentiators are going to matter for sure as far as what the next gen will offer and the tech and things like that too. I don't know what will be the thing that grabs people, because at the end of the day, I think that it's still going to be a play on the exclusives of what they're offering, at least initially. Some people can deal with FOMO better than others, and I don't know if it'll be a case where people say, well, I'll just go to PC versus let me get these games day and date. And that's the thing that's what's going to hold some people still there, I guess, as far as that goes.
Is it though? Is day and date really that? Do you know what I mean? Like look, if Xbox launches the next Xbox and it's like underpowered in any way, and then PlayStation launches a more powerful SKU, and they're gonna jump on that, like, you know, PlayStation's gonna pitch that hard. But if say flips the other way, Xbox is gonna jump on that and push that hard. Is the power differential going to be there? Is there going to be a power differential? Like that's the question. Like,
I mean, what's pitch me on the another way they would want to try to differentiate, since if they're going to put their games in both places,
probably right? AI features and stuff. Like we hear Sarah Bond talking about that. It's probably going to be,
that would be
like
built into the hardware, right? That would be some type of hardware solution, most likely, and software solution.
I guess
I don't
software
know if
solution.
Sony, who we betting on in terms of delivering the better AI solutions between the two companies.
Microsoft.
One is a more dedicated company for software. The other company, not so much, right?
For me, it would have to be Microsoft. I mean, we already see their moves right now. Part of the crazy layoffs they had is to expand on AI. Right. I would guess it'll be them. You know, they got the Copilot situation going with OpenAI. Like they're doing so much with AI already. It's a big business for them. I mean, it's brought in billions for them too, by the way. I think it's like,
and these companies are going to have to sell us. So if that is going to be, let's say that's going to be the differentiator, right? As to what makes, if the hardware specs are for the most part on par between the two, because ultimately, you know, they got to be somewhere in there to make it feasible for cost wise, right? So if that's the same, you're gonna have to sell me on how your AI features are gonna woo me to go one console versus the other. Because so far I haven't seen nothing that has given me, you know, the like, oh, this is the greatness of what AI is doing on games for this. Like, I haven't seen that in action yet, right?
You'll get an AI created waifu on Xbox. That's what you get.
Yeah, like, kill me down. Yeah. So like that's further down the line, I'm thinking, before we can even see, like, they would have to be able to demonstrate to us, like, this is something that games are doing before that that they're doing now that we couldn't do before because of where AI is. Right now, I think we're still like 3 to 4 years before we start seeing some of that, in my opinion. So in the interim, I think
you mean 3 or 4 years before now, you're saying?
Yeah, before we actually like start seeing, like, oh, show me something that you're doing with AI in the video game. And what I'm thinking is interactions with NPCs for the most part. You know, but show me some other beneficial way, if that is going to be a selling point. Because when I hear that, I'm just kind of like, that's meh, right? Like, I'm just kind of like, all right, well, cool. Whatever, right? If you're showing me that it's doing something really, really cool where the world feels more lived in, right? Then that's another thing where I can feel like, oh, I can go talk to the same NPC and never get the same repetitive line of dialogue. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be pretty cool.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because there is a game on Steam. I got it. I didn't play it yet though, but Kay put me on it sometime way back, and because of AI. And you speak to it through your whatever headset or whatever, the AI will pick up on what you're saying, and the NPC will give you dialogue based off your questions and statements. And it's actually pretty revolutionary from what I saw. I was like, wow, that's pretty dope. I got to figure out the name. I'll look it up in a second.
I've seen mods of people of doing stuff like that inside of like even Skyrim.
Right, yeah, I think
interacting with NPCs, and it's doing stuff based off of AI, where it's obviously providing answers that were never built into the game.
Yeah, that's dope. And so I agree. Like, if they do something like that, imagine that put into something like, I don't know, like a big RPG or like a Fable or something like that, right? Yeah, that'd be dope. That would actually be pretty dope.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, that's sort of the next step, right? When I spoke to Jason Ronald back in was it 2023? I was over there back in 2023. That was like, he did ask, like, he asked us a bunch of questions, like we were asking him a bunch of questions. One of those questions was, you know, what do you see as the next step? Because it's not graphics. Like, I think a lot of people have been saying it's not graphics for a long time. And I guess my answer is, and he's like, yeah, like, that's sort of, he sort of nodded along and said, yeah, that's sort of where I think the industry is going to head, is exactly what you're talking about. Is more AI assisted sort of NPC, lived in world sort of activity, you know? Games that react more realistically to your presence in the world. So that's super exciting, but you're doing that with the game, right? But you've got to have the AI systems within the box. So I guess you can pitch that. But does it become a raw power, like a raw power race to the bottom, to the top?
I feel like with the raw power thing, it's kind of like the same thing when it comes to visuals in gaming, right? Like, how far can you go before it's too far where we don't have the technology to advance past that yet? is going to, what they call it, the diminishing returns. So I think that's what it's going to have to differentiate on the software side. Like, what can they offer? That's why AI is going to matter so much. Yeah. And maybe, I mean, it's going to obviously help with quicker game iteration, right? And putting games out, so that there is that. I don't know how it'll work on the user end side. That's the part I'm not sure of. But I do like what Donte was saying on that. Like, that would be really, really cool if that could be implemented, and you can let's say you got like the next Mass Effect, and instead of the dialogue tree that you're picking from there on there, you can actually say what you want or whatever, and it picks up on that and gives you appropriate dialogue and plays through that and your choices. That would be something crazy.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, then we're going to need to have some sort of microphone input into that future is I don't think as far away as we think. Holly, how do you feel the next console iterations are going to fully compete? What's going to be the differentiator? Are you going to buy one and keep it in the box? No, kidding. Like, what is it? Is it power? Is it? I'm sorry, I had a random shot for no reason. Is that PS2 out of the box?
Wait, no, you guys, listen. I'm not gonna deal with that. All right, you guys are gonna be nicer to Holly about that type of stuff. Holly, have you taken that thing out the box yet?
Is it out the box?
You're just asking what he was just gonna ask.
I was gonna say that was the nice way of doing it, or what?
Is that thing still in the box, or is that thing out of the box?
It's in the box. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
But yeah, so like getting back to the series, how do you feel the next differentiation? Like, where is it headed? Like, is it a power differential? Is it going to be a ecosystem combination of both? Like, where is this headed? Is PlayStation headed for Sega Valley? So.
Oh no, PlayStation is alive and well and will be around for a very, very long time. Like,
at least a couple of weeks.
That's Riskit's opinion. Doesn't represent anybody else's, except King. I don't know. I feel like we talk about this all the time.
Do we?
There was we talk about the next console all the time. The last thing I saw about a PS6 was it was looking like it was going to be like 2029 when that comes. A little bit longer generation maybe than people thought originally, especially because it sounds like Xbox is pulling the trigger a little earlier than that, maybe late 26 or 27 at the latest. I think 27. I don't know. I mean, obviously I think AI is in everything from now on, right? So consider all of them having AI, period, full stop. It's non sequitur. The difference is,
like, what would woo you though? Like, or sorry, wow you. What will wow you in terms of its AI's implementation? What do you think is the feature if they're like, hey, because of AI, our games can do this, that you would be like, oh, that's really, really dope. And I'm interested.
The only thing I can think of, the things that I could think of that I would want AI to do are things I wouldn't want to know AI is doing. Know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like if Cyberpunk had a fully fleshed out world with active live conversations and NPCs living their life as whether you were there or not, kind of thing, right? So when you're bumping into them, you might hear interesting things, or you could go check up on maybe some of those stories, right? And it would just generate some side thing or something for that. Like those kinds of things is what I would appreciate AI to come in, and I wouldn't necessarily know that, a group of developers who are working on side content figured out, we need to have all of these different things happening. AI could just sort of take some parameters, right, that they've set and figure out a way to just make those things pop up if the player chooses to go do those. Another way would be what would be actually pretty cool is games, not just Call of Duty, but like Call of Duty where you have multiplayer maps. What would be really interesting is if you could have AI generate maps on the fly for the next loadout, right? So it would be a new map. Not necessarily every time, right? But you could have those pop in and out much faster than having a whole dev team have to sit down, design a map, flush it out, do all of that, and then upload it for the next season. Those are the kind of things that I would like to see.
Isn't it at least with map generation though, I think the problem with that in PvP games is that they are always trying to make sure the map is balanced so that way gamers don't feel like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
that would be very hard to
it'd be hard to, but if it was proficient enough where it's like, hey, I can design this on the fly map where no one feels like it's going to be an unfair advantage, right? It's balanced. That would be pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I don't think that's an AI first gen console. Like AIs in games, right? Yeah. I don't necessarily think that is going to come with the next console launch, but I think, AI is a generative learning thing, right? So Call of Duty can load all of its maps, and a lot of their maps are just reskins, right, of the same layout. They just have to make sure sight lines are right and whatever. But you teach it, right? Like what maps are successful, what maps aren't. Teach it the parameters of what are successful sight lines, what aren't. Verticality, all of the things that in general have made the more successful maps for the Call of Duty franchise over the last 20 years, right? And then you would work with it in a repetitive process over time, right? To teach it how to get better at it. I don't think it's an easy thing, but I think it sounds like something that they would happily do if they thought that they could get, they could get a leg up and have a game that was kind of cutting edge and something like that. That's my thought.
Yeah, right. 100%. I mean, there's a level designer somewhere that just died. It's like, oh no. But that would be pretty cool. I think that's where we're headed. I mean, Steam. There was a report the other day that I was reading that Steam, the use of generative AI for Steam games, because they don't have to, but they're supposed to list whether or not they're using AI. The use is quadrupled of people of developers saying that they're using generative AI. Look, we have been on this for a while, so I think the consensus is that PlayStation's dead. Got a couple of weeks to live. Gonna have to put it on life support. It's gonna be like a whole Sega deal.
Where's Bobby? Is Bobby in mourning? Bobby Hodge.
Bobby's
probably
not
hiding.
coming to this one.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing
Mount.
This.
We're not hitting the like button when we're mounting it, according to Drake Williams.
Oh, that's it.
Love it.
Get on top of that thing. Get on top of it.
I love it. Get on it.
Press it in there.
Oh shit.
We do go live 8 p.m. EST nearly every Friday. We're working on that, trying to get that back on track. And yeah, if you're liking the show, please mount the like button. Share us out.
Hey, by the way, Riskit, kind of a little bit off topic, but how did that go? Did you get it? What you're preparing for? Did you get that? Get that thing oiled up?
I was just
trying to play. No, that's not.
I was just about to say it.
Now, you know what I'm talking about? You were preparing for an interview, bro.
Yeah, I haven't heard back.
Never heard yet. Okay, all right.
I got a second bite at the cherry, and I didn't hear back after that. But that's an interesting story. I'll tell you that one after the show.
Right.
For those that are probably wondering what they're speaking of, Riskit was trying out to be a Chippendales, dancer. So. Yeah, that's why he's talking about the oiled up part and all that.
Get that thing oiled up.
No. Thunder from Down Under would be the appropriate thing because that's the Australian troupe.
The thunder from Down Under.
Holly seems to know enough about this topic.
Mm-hmm. You frequent those types of bars and places, Holly?
Mm-hmm. You might goon on a video game. I goon in real life.
Oh, we are not the same. We ain't the same. I see
you. The same.
I see you.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Kidding.
I I don't think she is.
We are not
And that works
the
on two
same.
levels: the thunder from down under, and there is some thunder down. Anyhow, I'll leave that alone.
Not like
We're gonna move on. Okay. So the biggest news of the week, aside from this, before this dropped, was Microsoft rolling back its $80 games, and this is on the surface a really, really good thing. But if you go back, I can't find the. I need to find the quotes, but here we go. Here's the quote from the initial. Oh no, here's the quote from the price drop. It says, "We're focused on bringing players incredible worlds to explore, and we'll keep our fully priced holiday releases, including Outer Worlds 2 at $69.99, in line with current market conditions." Now, take note of that, because when they raised the price to $80, the reasoning was because
Market
of
change.
current market conditions. So what the hell changed is the market conditions, and everyone was like, $80 games? Fuck that. And no one pre-ordered the game. Like, I sort of feel like this is not a for the benefit of the gamer, consumer friendly, we're the nice guys. It's none of that. I think it's just purely based on the numbers. They're like, holy shit, we're not getting pre-orders for this game. We need to roll this. We need to roll this back, and they've rolled it back. I look. It's great that it's a good thing if gamers have spoken with their wallets. Donte pulled his cord. If if gamers have spoken with their wallets, and this has been the response.
Yeah.
What was that, Umbra?
No, I was just noticing that he disappeared. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, he pulled his cord.
Yeah.
It's like one of those Mission Impossible things where he like flies off the train at like 500 miles an hour. Yeah,
Right.
look, this is a good thing, but I just feel like there's some sleaziness here. I just feel like there's a little itty bitty bit of sleaziness happening. Like that they tried it, didn't work for them because they weren't getting the pre-order, and I find it really hard to be excited, or like think it's good news that they even raised the price to $80, and then they're like, oh, now we're gonna roll it back, and everyone's supposed to be like, fuck yeah, and they even released like a whole GIF. It's like, Microsoft's so good, I can't believe they did this. Thank you, Microsoft. Like, you guys are the ones that raised the fucking price in the first place. It didn't work out for you, and this is where we're at.
They're listening to me. No, I mean, look at. I'm not gonna completely shade making a decision that many were up in arms about. Right? I'm not gonna shade, because that takes something to basically force them to kind of take an active look at it and say, okay, hey, let's go ahead, and this right now isn't the correct one, but that line, current market conditions, is everything, right? Because the market can and always will change. So I think that's a placeholder, unless Sony and Nintendo come down and say, yeah, you're right, we're not selling enough games at $80. That's a placeholder, in my opinion, and that could change.
So what you think that's the due to this, Microsoft, Sony and Nintendo could come back and say, look, we're not doing this with $80 games anymore. It's done. We're going to stick to 70 games. I mean, like, I would agree, but was Bonanza $80? I think it was right. It was one of those $80 games.
No, Bonanza
and Umbra bought it.
70.
This is a Donkey Kong game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to go in. But you said you weren't going to buy $70 games at the start of this generation, so I'd say
I'm still there. Remember, I got a side bet with my nephew. Remember?
No, he holds his poor young nephew hostage for a few bucks. You
listen. He's benefiting from my Game Pass and sharing, so the least he could do is give back.
So you're extorting your nephew.
Yes,
but
yes.
you're like in the room, you like close the door and you're like, don't you tell your dad about this shit. Did you say nothing?
This is between me and you. Keep it that way.
give me your milk money.
Holding him by his leg, like shaking him. He's like, where's that $70?
I'm trying to play Donkey Punch Rock. Hurry up.
But what do you got? What do Donte? So you're saying you see Nintendo and Sony going back on the $80 games? The conditions changing.
I don't
see that down the line.
I don't see them doing it, but I'm saying that would be the only way. That would be the only way I can feel comfortable for it to stay there, right? Because the other two market leaders would have to sit there and say, yeah, we're not selling enough games at this particular price point, so we need to bring it back down to this as well. If they continue to do so, Microsoft will also do the numbers and say, okay, how much money are we missing out by not bringing our games to 80? And they are not bringing their games down, right? Or if they see that for a long enough period of time, the market will demand for them to go back up to that particular price. So the only hope that we can get that the price will start to come down is for Sony and Nintendo to basically also follow suit and say, yeah, you know what? We realize we can basically move some more copies too if we took the sting out of that particular price point. I'm not holding my breath for that, is what I'm saying.
So you don't think this is going to hold? The center cannot hold.
And again, unless they're just like we are really, if they're just looking at the numbers and they're just missing out because like all these companies do consumer sentiment, right? Where they kind of get an idea. They'll send out they'll send out basically a survey for you to basically determine like, okay, what's your engagement, right? And if they hear from enough, if they see that like, okay, we're not moving as many units of a game that has been wildly popular compared to previous years, and people are saying that the price point of games is just too expensive, I think that's the only thing that can force them to say, okay, maybe we need to basically lower this down some. But I just don't know how they can rectify that, because right now the price of developing games is still really high. So it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's this weird seesaw where you got to make this decision on like, okay, are we gonna be profitable, or are we gonna take a loss roughly, right? And when I hear some of the things that like, one game sold 5 million bucks and that was considered underperforming, or 5 million copies I meant, and that was considered underperforming, that's a little concerning, right? Where it's like, okay, well, you definitely ain't gonna sell a bunch of copies if you keep raising the price up to $80 and $90 and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. And I could feel that sentiment, like the cost of development and all that, like being the necessity or the deciding factor of raising the price of your games. But when you do it with Outer Worlds, with Obsidian, who is at this point like known for, this is not any shade at them, but known for, they're making sort of cut down experiences. You'd say they're in the AA space, maybe a toe in the AAA. And Avowed was amazing. I loved Avowed. But if this is the game that's pushing you to $80, then like what's Doom? Like why wasn't Doom the Dark Ages? I mean, that looks like a game to me that would have a bigger development budget, and the cost would make more sense to be switching over to the $80 thing. So I don't know, man. This just felt like and not Xbox, but this felt like sleazy Microsoft, like sticking their toe in and being like, Amy Hood's like, why don't we charge $80 and see what happens? That's my Amy Hood impression. And
like
I thought it was
slight hint
Satya.
of country with it. Why don't we try some $80, y'all? That's what it sounded like.
She may well be wearing a little cowboy hat, like mounting the like button or mounting the office chair. And anyway, yeah.
How you like them apples, Satya?
oh boy.
Oh Lord, your country isn't any better than your British.
You watch your mouth now. You hush.
Holly,
It's not good.
I'm hurt. I can't talk right now.
how are you feeling?
I nailed it. I think
How
I
you feeling
nailed it,
about
Dante. What you think, Riskit?
$80 down? They're like they're saving you an extra $10 per game. Yeah,
I gotta go.
No.
I should
do
go.
declare.
I should go.
You should stay.
I do declare.
I do declare. Salutation.
Salutation.
What is
just not good.
happening?
It's terrible.
This is my
It's so
personal hell
terrible.
right now.
It is. Yes,
Oh
we are
my
there
God.
together.
Join
Yes.
us. Join us, Dante.
No, you.
Yeah.
Now look at here.
Now look at
We-
here.
Look at here, okay? We're not going to sit here and be talking about. Okay, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, Holly. I almost gave into it, Holly, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to walk myself back. All right, let's get back on focus.
Holly, why
Oh,
won't
damn.
you
What's
let
up,
us
Holly?
have fun?
What's up, Holly?
It
Holly,
hurts
so
It hurts
My
you.
earbuds.
$80 games. Microsoft. So, what's the feeling like that? You feel like it's this is good of their heart. Microsoft decision. Like, how is this feeling to you,
I think this. Oh, I'm joking.
Holly?
Layoffs.
So I was really like, if you don't remember, like, it wasn't that long ago. It felt like the $80 games for Nintendo really just sank all of the love for the Switch 2 launching for the most part. And then Microsoft, I mean, I expected if Nintendo was going to do it, that of course they would all do it. I just didn't expect Microsoft to be like, "Hey, me first, move out the way," right? Like that was wild. Especially with I don't know. I hate to say it. I love Outer Worlds. It's one of my I very much like that game. I've played it through 3 or 4 times. So I personally am looking forward a lot to Outer Worlds too. And I think it is, I think it's going to be great. And I think it's worth the price that they want to charge. But I also think that your first $80 game out the gate has to be something bigger, right? And I mean bigger as in a bigger audience. Now, Outer Worlds was on every platform when it came out, so I guess you could say, it's more than just. It's not like the first one was Xbox only, and now they're bringing it everywhere. But I think honestly, your first $80 game has to be Call of Duty,
Banger.
Gears, or Halo, right?
Yeah, has to be a banger. Has to be like
Yeah.
definitively.
Yeah, or Fable, right?
Yeah.
Fable would have
Fable.
been. People have been like, "Fine, take my money," right? Like,
Yeah.
there's a list of games that would have just sailed through, and people would have been like, "That sucks," and that's it, right? What I find sad about it is actually that Outer Worlds is a fantastic series, and it saddens me that their pre-orders were probably affected that much by the price hike. Because that game, I obviously haven't played that game yet, but based on how much I like the first one, I would suspect, right, that the second one should be played by a lot of people because it's cool and be more accessible. But it's a little bit niche. So I don't know. I don't think this is going away. I think it's just deferred till November 14th when Black Ops 7 comes out.
You don't think they've maybe bought themselves at least a year at this price? Because that's gonna, to me, I think optically to be like, yeah, we hear you. $80 is too expensive. We're going to 70, and then within months you go back up to 80. That would be the dumbest thing ever that they could do from a PR standpoint, right? Like, what?
If it were anything else but Call of Duty, maybe. But Call of Duty is Call of Duty. Now, what might help Call of Duty is, when is this Battlefield supposed to actually come out? It's not until 2026, right?
Yeah, here,
right. I think it's due.
Oh, that's their fiscal year, right?
Yeah, so it's slated for October 10, 2025, I believe.
So people are really hyped about Battlefield. So
I mean, I'm a Battlefield player, so I'm hyped.
Although all of the comments on the 2-minute teaser trailer thing they put out are people like, don't pre-order, don't forget 2042, don't pre-order, like we'll believe it when we see it. And I'm kind of surprised because it's been a while since 2042, but it really left a mark with people. So anyway, my whole point is that this is a year when Battlefield's back, right? And people seem really excited about it. There's a lot of fatigue around Call of Duty and the skins and the BS that comes with that. So maybe they don't have the market to go to 80.
Yeah, I just think timing is also, it has to play into it to some degree. I just think you just look dumb as a company to kind of come out with this goodwill gesture of like, we're listening to you. You're right. This price is too high. And then later be like, oh, but this is COD. So y'all got to understand, take this $80. and sit down and love it, right? Like I think that's just gonna be bad PR. They'll start the cycle all over again.
I just feel like Call of Duty is just its own juggernaut, and if it's in Game Pass, so
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
That's the thing. All the games are in Game Pass. So,
yeah,
Right.
So, but the thing is that if you're selling it independently, like they will be on PlayStation, for instance, our brothers are going to have to pay premium. You know what I mean? To get in there and play some COD.
But they're not. This is the thing. I mean, with Outer Worlds 2, obviously, I doubt the pre-orders on the Xbox was the defining factor. I'd say the pre-orders on the PlayStation was the defining factor, or over on PC, where people were just like, nope. Especially PC.
I feel like
overall,
a lot of people just don't pre-order it anymore these days too. The industry has trained a lot of us out of pre-ordering because we've been burned by games that come out unfinished. So
yep, 100%.
How do you really judge pre-orders now?
Well,
Umbra picked that up. Yeah, but it's true. But like when I say 100%, like it is 100% true. We are going to talk about Battlefield 6, but I mean, just in reference to that, I mean, Holly, I'd say as a Battlefield player, you know, I started with 2, then 3, then 4. You know, the launch of 4 was horrific. Like you would rubber band all across the screen. Like people forget that. Like 4 is the best. Like 4 was an absolute mess when it launched. They learned their lesson, or seemingly, when they launched 1, and I love 1. 1 launched solid. Then they made some updates in that game that like ruined it. Then they brought it back. You know, then when they launched 5, it was just not what
5.
It just wasn't.
I spent so much time in 5, 1, and 5. I spent the most hours in 4, second most hours in 5, third most hours in 1, and the last one.
Oh,
is
you're not
one
gonna
I spent the less. So
you're not gonna like this.
It performed well, dude. I don't care. It performed well. It shoots great. 5 shoots great,
like
especially the Pacific stuff.
There was a lot of just it just wasn't it, man. They just didn't nail that at all. 5 was probably one of the worst Battlefields of. Now, I mean, like seriously though, I genuinely just. I honestly, I've got PTSD from it, so I've completely wiped from my memory like what my problems were with it. But I just remember thinking like, what the is this shit? Like we went from 1 to this. Like one of the things with the TTK, like TTK was like almost immediate, like one bullet from across the battlefield, and you're like 1 minute you're standing, next minute you're like, oh, I'm dead.
No,
yeah.
man.
Yeah,
they changed
when they
that,
launched
like,
it.
Yeah, they changed that though, like within 6 months, man.
Yeah, but like it also like killed that. You went from Battlefield 1, where everyone was super spongy, right, and no one was dying like from the first bullet, to like dying from the first like hint of a bullet. You know what I mean? And that lost a lot of the player base, and it definitely hurt it in Australia. You know, not to focus in on 5, but then you went to 2042, where like, you know, like, oh, we're gonna have bots in the game, and they're just gonna kneel in the middle of the street, and you can shoot without any fear of them shooting back. Like there's gonna be 100 people in this server on your side, and you know you're gonna have to run for 3 hours before you actually get to a point where you're in a battle, and then someone will snipe you. It's gonna be a great time. Like. They made all these fucking decisions that just completely ruined the balance. And Holly, my point being is like, people have learnt with Battlefield, however good it looks in that trailer, don't trust it. If you're a genuine Battlefield player, you're like, don't trust it until they drop. Like, and you just can't with any games like these days. You cannot trust, even from the best developer, like even from the guys who make, you know, the Resident Evil Capcom, the guys who are making the Resident Evil games, like even though every single one has been a banger, I would still not order that because they're due to have a clanger, right? They're due to drop one that just like is horrific. You know what I mean? Like you kind of get to the point where you get a bunch of good out of a studio, and the execs get their fingers in there and go like, we love this. Can't you make it quicker and make all these design decisions that just ruins the game? You can't trust these corporations at all, like including Xbox, man. Including PlayStation. You can't trust any of them to have the player in mind when they're launching these games. As soon as you're in a big corporation, and they are really in it for the money, and which is a horrible thing to say, but it's true. A horrible thing to say. So, I mean, sorry, Holly?
I was just gonna say, yeah, absolutely. The only games I pre-order now are ones that I'm just like so excited for. It doesn't matter. I want to play it day one, which is pretty rare.
And then all the rest, I wait and I kind of see how the reviews are coming out, and I pre-order, within the day or two before. If there's a bonus that comes with it. If there's not a bonus,
Yeah.
then who cares, right? But like that's it. I kind of wait to hear like the state that it's in.
I mean, what was the pre-order of the game that I was looking at? I can't remember what game it was, but like there was the standard edition, and the pre-order edition was you get an art book, a digital art book, and the album.
Who
The
cares?
fuck, man, come on.
They all
Like
do that
people
now.
go to Spotify. Like, why am I giving you an extra $10 for that? Like, make it worth my while. Yeah, Marsh, I would say to you, like, probably next year Game Pass goes up, and I would say by a max of $5, a minimum of $2. That's what's happening next year for sure. You can mark that. So yeah, I guess we're all. Umbra, jumping to you because I don't think we've sort of gone over this $80 thing with you, and then we'll jump to the next one, which is I do want to talk a little bit about the Battlefield reveal because it's important for us Battlefield players, Donte.
I don't have much to give on the Battlefield part. I'll let you all handle that. But as far as the $80 thing, yeah, I mean, they just saw the market. I mean, the whole recycled wording they're using is kind of getting tired, I would say. The market conditions, but it's just market, it's just PR talk for we didn't sell shit. People weren't buying it at that price, and people are starting to speak through the wallet. I mean, if it depends on what the title is. If that was a Grand Theft Auto, yeah, it would have been the pre-sales would have been crazy. But people know that this game can be had on Game Pass. It's like, okay, well, I'll just get it on Game Pass. And to be fair, that's what Microsoft wants. They want people to jump on Game Pass. So the thing is that it backfired because it wasn't performing on other platforms either, as far as that goes. I don't think it's that big enough of a title for that. I think Outer Worlds is kind of a AA experience in some way. You know what I mean? Part 1 was. This one looks to be more expansive and more, I guess, more polished in a way. So, but I think it's kind of in that AA area, right? And people don't tend to want to spend something like that for, $70 is already ridiculous. $80?
Agreed.
It's pushing it too far. So, hey, but listen, smart of them to like I said yesterday. Part of my title for the show yesterday was bullying works. They got bullied right back into 70. So I'm all for it. I think we need if our Nintendo drones would have stood up and revolted against Mario Kart World being $80 and Nintendo doing it, maybe no one else would try to dare raise the price again. But I still blame PlayStation gamers, our Hoove brothers, for the $70 situation.
The ones who were the loudest howling when the $80 like, $80, and they were like, guys, you guys, remember the start of the PlayStation generation? You're all for the price rise because quality. I'll pay $110.
I remember that literally. Talking to them in spaces. Well, we'll pay that. You guys just don't buy games, blah, blah, blah. All this nonsense. Gaming is expensive. Gaming is luxury. All these things they said. And now some of you have been priced out of gaming. Imagine that. But
they don't have nephews like you do.
Well, hey, better go better have Now you didn't even have to do that. That was uncalled for. I couldn't even come up with a clever comeback.
I know. It was perfect.
Damn it. You've been waiting for that. She was over there waiting like Dr. Evil. Look how she's sitting in her chair like, yes. She got me. I'll give you that one. Yeah, I better get you a damn kid in your life, a nephew. The niece, somebody.
Just go find one and take them.
Adopt a kid and have them go work in the salt mines and bring back the money to you. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm glad that it's lowering down back to 70 or whatever. Hell, I wish it was going back to 60, but it is what it is. Again, I'm subscribed to Game Pass, so it doesn't really matter to me. But on the business end of it, it's clearly because it wasn't selling well, right? And I think they can get away with it, as you all were saying before, with like a Call of Duty. But it has to be must-play titles. I think Nintendo, obviously, like we said, can get away with it because there is no other place you can get Nintendo-specific games. You can get other
Mhm.
types of games, you know, probably better experiences from games that's only on Microsoft. Well, they're not only on Xbox. That's the problem, right? That's one of the things. And two, again, I think that it's more of a double A experience that people are not like, I gotta play Outer Worlds. It's not to that level yet. You know,
Do you know what?
Mario Kart
Do you
is.
know what? Do you know what sort of it's sort of like all underlying this is again mismanagement, because who's making these decisions? I mean, like all of us can see, like from before they do this, if someone was to come to one of us and go, look, you know, we're thinking about making $80 games, like which one do you think it's going to be? None of us are going to be like Outer Worlds 2. That's the one. That's the one you got to make $80. Like not a single one of us, not a single gamer, I would argue even PlayStation gamers would be like, yeah, that's the one. No. All of us would be like, make Call of Duty $80. You'll probably get away with it. So who the fuck is making these decisions?
The only brand new IP I could see that you could test it and I think it would do okay is Clockwork Revolution. Because the way that game is showing is really, you know, it's really special, right? Like, and even then, that's a gamble, of course, right? Call of Duty is the obvious answer, but like,
I would say even Clockwork probably wouldn't even get it. Like, I think again because it's on Game Pass.
Agreed.
So I think that would even cause like
I
feel like
I was
maybe
just saying as a new IP. I mean, Outer Worlds 2 isn't new, right? I'm just saying, like, out of everything everybody's seen, the one thing that people walked away talking about from the Xbox showcase this year was Clockwork.
Oh, in recent times, I would say in recent times, but I would say Fable, you could maybe get away with.
Yeah, but it's not a
game.
new IP. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would think
That's
that would
true.
be that could be leveraged at rather at 80 versus Outer Worlds. I think.
Yeah.
Fable would be one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Call of Duty, like
again,
going to you guys' points, Call of Duty could be done that way. People are going to buy it.
Yep, 100%. That's the game. Like who? But again, who's making these decisions? Like the complete mismanagement, the mixed messaging. Like it's just like, let's find a rake. Like I think I once said, like if there was a rake in the middle of the Arizona desert, Xbox would find a fucking way to step on that thing. And they would, man.
Donte
It's
left that rake out
unbelievable.
there. Yeah, Arizona, he left that rake out there.
And I gotta be honest. Like I am slowly inching further and further, and I hate to be this because I've been the biggest supporter of Phil Spencer and the management and you know everyone over there. But like I'm sort of inching towards like clearly these guys don't know what the hell. What are they doing? Like you make a decision like this, you got to question like how does this get through the gate and why does it get through the gate, and is it time for these guys to and then get someone who knows the damn industry? Phil should know the industry. Phil should have been like, no, we're not doing this because it won't work. Donte, you're muted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's muted.
I wonder if there's ever any situation where like
He's
Phil
like,
is pushing back on them and they're just overriding him like Amy Hood. Like, nope, we're doing 80.
I think that's happening a lot.
You think so? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, Donte muted.
He's giving a very impassioned speech. Oh man, I feel the energy through that. Yes, sir.
He's gonna come back. He's gonna fix that shit.
Your point there, Seawolf Form, that was ridiculous of them to do that with Redfall. Like that goes back to Riskit's point of the rake stepping. Like, why the hell was Redfall 70? Just like who thought that was the smart decision? I don't understand.
It speaks to like they're not actually looking at the game. They're not actually going to play the game or test the game and then making a decision based on the quality of the game. They're just like, it's almost like picking a name out of a hat and going, this is our next one that we've hyped up the most. This one will be the one. And it's like, no, guys, no. Who's making these fucking decisions over there? Like, it's really disheartening and disappointing when you see like just blatant stupidity coming out of the brand that you love.
I don't think it's Phil them.
Yeah, but Phil's at the top. Everything comes back to Phil.
What I'm saying is, I think if anything, it going back to the lower price point is because of Phil saying like, look, we're getting killed by putting it at this particular price point. For those above him are like, you need to do what Nintendo and Sony are doing. Why are you guys not pricing your games at the same price as Nintendo and Sony? Okay, let's try to do that. Let's say you're not getting enough pre-order copies for Outer Worlds 2. Okay, you see what we're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Putting it at this price point is not helping us out. We need to bring it back down to the lower price point. I would think that's more. I could be wrong, but I would think that that's more of the corporate decision, trying to put it at 80 to keep it the same way they want that. I believe it's a corporate decision to want to get the games on all the platforms, right? Versus play the exclusive game. So I think if anything, Phil is trying his best to continue to navigate what he can without like completely pissing off Amy and Co above him. Is my feelings on it.
Well, so you feel that based on that logic, you could say that maybe they purposely picked a game that wouldn't do well at $80 so they could go back and repitch.
I just think they just felt that like, hey, games are coming out now, and other companies are saying like they probably felt like Outer Worlds released on PlayStation, available for Xbox. It has an audience. We can get away with the second one being $80 because it already has an audience. Whereas like earlier when we were talking about like new IP, I think right now it's hard for any new IP, no matter how good it looks, to basically come out with that particular price point. I think you got to first win yourself the audience where your game is big enough that you can then justify why you like Red Dead can get away with that. GTA can get away with that. COD can get away with that, right? But like I don't think
even
a new IP can do
Nintendo.
that.
Even Nintendo, it was Mario Kart, but they didn't even do that for Donkey Kong, right? Like,
right.
Which was kind of odd because Donkey Kong, I don't want any of them priced
he's just
70 or
not
80.
as popular
Yeah,
as Mario.
that's all it is, and because that would be warrant more for that versus Mario. Mario Kart is not worth
agree.
80, you know,
I agree.
but absolutely, it's selling at 80. That's how much the Nintendo will buy whatever, like literally, like Sea Wolf Swim. I've used that complaint before, Sea Wolf Swim, that Nintendo or Nintendo, whatever you want to call them, they bought cardboard. Like this is how how much they love Nintendo. Like, oh, new product, okay. Like these guys, they have when it comes to fans and pushback and what we won't accept. I think Xbox fans are number one. We will call them out. We will revolt. PlayStation guys are number two. Nintendo guys just accept whatever Nintendo gives them. They don't argue. They accept whatever. And I think that's part of the problem. So they will take a Mario Kart because I had thought it was a bundled situation why Mario Kart charted. No, this was separate. This was just single copies. They bought it $80 and it charted it like number one.
It's not even that good. Like it's really not.
It's not that good. It's okay. It's just okay.
What's that?
Mario Kart World. It's okay, but it's not like, oh man, I got to play some Mario Kart. It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot missing from that. Like the open world's pretty barren. Like there's not a lot of tracks. There's there's a few modes and stuff. There's enough to keep you sort of interested maybe for a week, and then like $80. But I mean, I take a little bit of exception at your characterization of the PlayStation guys there because I would like put Xbox guys completely apart and then group the Nintendo PlayStation guys together with like they bought a handheld that requires a console. You have to buy a console, a $500 console, and then an $800 handheld to play the handheld. That's ridiculous. And the dang Strings games doesn't play it native. And they were like, this is great. I still love it. Sorry.
Somehow they fixed some of that. I don't quite understand. I heard that it's way better now. Like they pushed a bunch of stuff that allowed it to be much more like accessible. But to your point, they bought it when it wasn't accessible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you can do that on your phone. You can like get a backbone for like a tenth of the price and do that on your phone. It's exactly the same experience. Why would you pay $800 to stream your games from a console to up there? And then to this day, Tricky Dick Nick on Twitter is like constantly, this Portal is great. It's like, no, man. Nah, dude. It's really not. Like, I mean, Jesus. Like, even the Nintendo Switch 1 was playing their games natively. Anyway, that's I think PlayStation guys will just literally swallow down anything that PlayStation sort of sends at them. And I think that they're going to swallow this third-party decision down, and they're going to find a way to justify it. That's what they do. They love it. They goggle the Anyway,
Oh, man.
I'm sorry. That was too
Oh,
much.
man.
It was way too much.
It
was
I saw where it was going.
He's heading there. He's heading there. Sorry, Holly. I apologize for the graphicness of my display. My views and actions do not represent the views and actions of the Infinite Podcast. Guys, hit the like button, mount that like button, grab it from behind, and give it a squeeze. We go live 8 p.m. EST every Friday. Don't squeeze it too hard because that could be considered assault. Jumping on to where did that go? How do we end up?
All right.
End up here?
Yep.
Look, I want to talk about It's No Rest of the Wicked because I have been hounded. I actually got into a little bit of an argument. Not an argument. Thomas Mahler got a little bit upset with Riskit because every time Thomas posted, Riskit was in there going, so where's the console port? So where's the console port? And I can understand that might be a little bit frustrating. But you know what's really frustrating? When Thomas comes out and says it might skip Xbox at launch because looking at the numbers, apparently, there's nothing to officially confirm yet. We want to support consoles, and just looking at the numbers, PS5 makes the most sense at the moment. Ultimately, we ship them on all platforms.
What numbers?
But likely
Install base.
not
probably.
Sorry. At what time? At what point in life is 30 some odd million people like a number to scoff at? That's a potential pool of buyers, right? When companies it's not like most exclusives aren't selling 20 some odd 30 million, right?
Right.
That's just not happening. So like what how big of a base do you need to look at for that to be your decision on? You know what I'm saying? Like it's one thing to say like, oh, there's only 5 million people on Xbox. I get that. But tens of millions of people is a pretty big install base, yo.
He said it, first of all, he said at launch, right? He didn't say forever. And then the other thing is, and this is not the first game to just skip at launch, right? Let's remember. So any outrage you have for that, right? Remember that other people did it too. And then the other thing is to keep in mind, whether you want to keep it in mind or not, is that there's been quite a few stories that have come out in the last 6 months that their studio has been in a position to need to be extremely frugal, right? So I would suspect that they need to get their 1.0 release out because it's been in early access for over a year now. I would suspect that there's a need to get that 1.0 release out. And if it's going to cost them, an extra 2 months, let's say, right, to do the Xbox port, they might not have the cash, right, to just keep going like that. So maybe their thought is that we need the money to keep going. So we'll port where we can now to have the money to finish the port.
Well, say that. I rather.
Well, but then it looks like very weak when you're out there and you're like, we're busted. Sorry, employees, we busted.
I hear you, but I don't care. I rather hear that than say like, look, we rather port it to as many places as we possibly can. But ultimately, it's more cost effective for us to get it to the larger base here, right? To get it on the PlayStation, but don't kind of take a dig and scoff that like 30 some odd million people is not a large enough install base. Like I just don't want to.
I don't think he was. I don't think he was.
Riskit. What's the quote? Because that's the impression at least I took from it. Maybe I'm.
They said there's nothing to officially confirm yet. He said we want to support consoles, and just looking at the numbers, PS5 makes the most sense at the moment. Ultimately, we ship on all platforms, but likely not at the same time.
Right. Not at the same time.
That's a little. I'll give that. Looking at the numbers, okay, I'll give him that because that's just basically saying like, hey, potentially we can raise more money by getting it here first. So I'll take back what I said.
Yeah, I mean, I can get down with what both of you were saying, but Holly, like 100% agree. That was sort of my first thought. Is like I get it. Like he's probably like let's not argue that he's going to probably get more sales out of PlayStation. And potentially even out of Switch because that was his initial
PC.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, he's already on PC.
But it's early access. A lot of people don't buy early access.
Yeah, agree. But there's no need for them to port there, obviously, because it's already sort of there. Just before we do move to this, I'll just say James Thomas dropped a a 5-month membership. Thank you, James. He says just live service games, which he corrected. No, James, it's not just live service games. It's not what it is. I know what you're saying about PlayStation. It's like
copium.
just accept that they're going to start putting their games over on Xbox. I think it's a
like think about the level of denial you have to say that when they've canceled all those live services. Like the only one they have left is what is it? Marathon, which is scrapped and being retooled.
That's gonna get canceled.
More than likely. You have Fair Games, which is probably going to get canceled too. And what's the other one?
That's it.
You think they did that post just to talk about those two games? Be real, y'all. Come on, James.
They're not hiring someone who reports to an executive level position for what's very likely to be a salary that's, and this is being conservative, a salary that's over $200,000 a year conservatively.
At the very least, 6 digits, right?
Yeah. They're not hiring someone to look after the porting of PlayStation software for that amount of money to just send it like that. They're going to need to make at least that back.
James says he was being ironic and sarcastic, and that he's been here
Oh,
many
love, bro.
times.
Okay,
and he's an
man.
Xbox main.
All right. Sorry, we didn't know.
Get him.
Yeah.
Get him anyway. No.
Do that to Sea Wolf Swim now. Do that to Sea Wolf Swim.
Sea Wolf Swim.
Go back.
Wolf.
When I see you in the street, son. No, joke.
It's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. Punch Rock.
Yeah, I mean, like Seawolf was in tonight. I don't know if you noticed. I was going to say this before, but I don't know if you noticed. But Seawolf wanted to talk about this whole game not coming to Xbox and anything that was bad for Xbox. The entire time we were talking about the whole PlayStation thing, which is why I said to Seawolf, stay on topic, bruh. We'll get there. Let's talk about the PlayStation bad news for you first, right? Let's get through that, and then we'll get onto the Xbox bad news for us, because we talk about both because we're fair and even here. But if you want to just skip over the PlayStation stuff and do the what about, but Xbox is not getting games thing, then you can. But it just shows your pain and your salty tear. Anyway, Rodzank NRM with a $2 super chat said Xbox even praise bad games as long as it is on Game Pass. Frankly, not true.
Thanks for the money, though.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for $2. And demonstrably not true. And keep engaging. Like, I love this. Engagement. Hit the like button. Hit the dislike button. They both help out.
Send another super chat explaining which bad games that we praise. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I want to see a list that's at least 200 characters long.
That'd be $100.
I just hit the wrong button. Coming back to this, I get what you're saying, Holly, and I 100% do agree. I agree with that. That it's not him throwing shade at Xbox, and I don't feel that at all. However, looking at Donte's just reaction there, based on that's a minimalized reaction, like of what you're going to get from the entire Xbox community. And there's going to be a lot of them that are going to feel away because we supported you with Ori. You know what I mean? We supported you with the Will of the Wisps. And then they're going to be like, well, fuck us, fuck you. That's exactly what they're going to do. And they're just simply not going to support that game because, now this might be a small subsect, right? But it's still going to cost you money. Like,
How did Black Myth Wukong sell?
Has it released yet? I don't even know. I ain't touching that game.
Didn't it?
I don't know. I think it could be exactly, but like I wonder if it has released. Let me ask AI because AI knows everything. But like you're going to get a reaction. You're going to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars minimum. Like minimum $100,000 is going to cost you. I think you write it out. You build the port. You may be talking. Now, me and Umbra had a conversation about this in the background. I think the best bet for them, I don't see them going to Game Pass. I think the best bet for them is to try to speak to Microsoft about helping to get a port. Drum up enough of what they're doing right now is drumming up conversation. Drum up enough of that. And then Xbox has got that gun-shy thing from Baldur's Gate, from Black Myth Wukong. And Xbox goes, all right, we're gonna give you the money for the port. And then you're going to pay it back, or we're going to take more of a percentage, or whatever. I think there's a deal to be made, and Microsoft should make the deals. Microsoft should make.
Yeah, you
Microsoft
say
should make that deal.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but what I'll say is that in reality, that's probably not anything that could ever actually happen, because we've heard a lot about how Microsoft's studio support is lacking, right?
Oh yeah,
Crickets.
100%. I think.
Yeah. So I
I
just
thought
don't
you were
know
saying
that.
more.
And it's just that I just think that, like, if they had gone to them, right, I don't know if they would have gotten the support in the time that they needed to do the things that they needed.
Yeah, but I mean, like, this is the other thing, is like, is the port to Xbox is not as much of a step from PC to Xbox. It's not as much of a step as it is for the port to PlayStation. That's a bigger step with more money involved. You know what I mean? So like, Xbox is the cheaper, and we've heard this from the developer of Hyper. What was that shoot 'em game? Is that it was easier to make the port from PC to Xbox than it is to PlayStation. So I mean, like, from a monetary doing the numbers thing, if the studio's hurting at the moment, then why aren't they doing that? That makes a hell of a lot more sense. Shout out to like nearly 500 people here today. I have to say, I know there's only about 40 something on YouTube, but we've had 456 come through on Twitter. Is unbelievable engagement. Thank you for your $2. But look, I'm not going to support a game that does this. I think it's a bad idea. If you launch on console, you launch on every console you intend to launch on, maybe except for the Switch. Switch are very much used to not getting their games immediately, right? I understand he also pointed to the Series S, saying it's going to be harder to develop for the Series S. You know what I mean? Like, he's just done everything to piss off the Xbox community, and that was fucking stupid. Like, it's just stupid. I don't know why the developers just can't keep their mouths shut. I know that Thomas speaks a lot on Twitter, but it's just a bad look. It's a bad way to do business, and it'd be a bad decision to skip Xbox if you intend to come there in the end. Unless you're making a time deal with PlayStation, which I think we're quite used to. It's all about how you do this and the optics of it. But at this point, I think everyone will just be like, screw them. Don't lie to us. Like, I think that was the main thing with Black Myth Wukong. Is like, Black Myth was like, oh, we didn't make a deal with PlayStation, but I think it's very obvious that they did. And everyone in the Xbox community is just like, don't lie. Why are you like lying to us? Just say you made a fucking deal, do the deal, and then give us a date for launch on Xbox. Like, that to me is I think the issue and why it's different. You know, when you talk about it as a timed exclusive, you should have said it's a timed exclusive to PlayStation. You know, and then the PlayStation guys would have loaded it up, and then when we get it, we'd load it up. It's a whole different dynamic. I just think it's a bad decision.
I also found it funny to see like the PlayStation guys mounting AI defenses like, no, it wasn't that. It was really this. It's like, why are you even invested? This is an Xbox issue. Why are you here? You got the game. Or like, shut up. So I found that odd too. It's just like, be honest. All signs seem to point to a money hat, right? And I couldn't care less if you did. Just be honest about it, right? Like, that's the point that, like you said, because you've never seen Microsoft or a spokesman for them come out saying what they did until that point. That's the first time I've ever seen them be like, we don't comment on deals with our, partners, blah, blah, blah. They're alluding to, yes, there was a deal in place. Very clearly. They never have done that until that point. So it was very obvious what it was. You know what I mean? And it's not like, again, they dropped, even the whole parody thing was dropped for Baldur's Gate 3. They could have done the same thing here for Series X and Series S when it comes to Black Myth, if they wanted to. I think they just, they were being dishonest about it, and that's the problem. That's part of the issue. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, some people will take a stance of, hey, if you're going to pull that game, like the dude that complained, I think his name was Alan Wake 82, when he wrote to Mahler and telling him, hey, I don't like that you're doing that. I'm going to keep my money and use it on something else. He has every right to do that. If what you seem to be doing, which it did seem like Thomas Mahler was gaming the system, like, oh, sure would love to put it on Xbox, but we don't have the money. maybe Microsoft could step in. Like it was very obvious what you were doing, right? And Amala, this is not the first time he's done that. He will say something and then play it up to whatever. Before he mentioned, oh, they would possibly go out of business for the reviews if the negative reviews they're getting on Steam. And then when Jez posted about an article about it, he came out trying to trash Jez. Like, I didn't say that. It is what he said. And we're financially good. Like he plays the system like that. And that's what he's doing. I think just be honest, man. It's a slap to the face of Xbox guys anyway. And that does not pay off. Does anyone remember? I've said this before. Does anyone remember Cliffy B doing that nonsense for his game and betraying the people who brought him up, and made him to what he was as far as success, right? And supported him. It didn't go well. And at the same thing, I think that can happen to any of them. I think some people get a bit ahead of themselves and think, "Oh, we'll be fine." No,
that's right, Thomas. So if you don't want to end up creating Broadway shows in New York
and driving expensive cars,
having a hot missus, right? He wants stuff.
You don't want to find a dime on your arm and a nice expensive sports car and a nice house and to live a good life, then you better watch yourself.
You behave yourself right now. I will say, Black Myth Wukong, it isn't out yet, but I don't know what the pre-order's like, but it's the launch date's June 18th. June 18th?
June. That was last month.
So it is out.
Yes.
So that no one, fuck AI is like, it's not out yet. It's out on June the 18th. Like, oh yeah, good one. So yeah, it's 1 year to the day after it launched on PlayStation. Strange, huh? 1 year to the day. Oh yeah, so it's not. It's releases on August 20th. There we go. So it's 1 year to the day. So AI, Google AI, don't trust it. It's not. It's why I love people like using Grok to console war on this. Like, you think Grok's accurate? You think Grok knows everything? Huh? What about this article? What about this article? What about this article? This is what Riskit goes on in Riskit's head during Twitter. Fervently console warring. Anyways, it's got awkward. Lotus Spree with a $10 super chat says, at ThatBlueNumber, thanks for the artwork. I had to stop by for a second to say hi. I missed you all. Still traveling and moving. Thank you, Lotus Spree. You're an absolute legend. Holly, why do you look so disappointed?
No. I'm very happy. Lotus, I sent Lotus a package with some stuff that they would very much appreciate. So I'm very, very happy that it got where it needed to go.
Hold on, I'm feeling affected here.
I often said,
you always are.
Hold on. Lotus, for one, you didn't say hi to me, Riskit, or Donte. Holly ain't that special. Nice. She's special, but she ain't that special. That's one. Two, Holly, I'm here in Chicago with you. Where's my package at? Well, you can send me some artwork and
well, I mean, if you look down, you can see your package.
Hey, it is true. It is there.
And you're supposed to be providing that package to other people. Wait, come on down a dark path.
Oh no! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Was that self-service? What? Time out.
No, it was dark for the dark side.
Oh, okay.
Darth Vader, you freak!
I didn't know what he was doing.
He was like, I had my rib removed.
Right?
That's what I went directly to that, Dante. I'm like, what are we talking about?
Oh my god. How did we end up here?
That just shows the depravity.
How did we end up here?
Yeah. I blame Holly for not sending me a care package. She's sending everybody. Why did I get a care package, Holly? Huh?
Because Care don't live here.
Care don't live here
Care don't live here, huh, Holly?
Right.
Because you be fighting me too much.
I knew she was.
He's always saying some mean stuff.
I do not be saying, look, she just, you know what? I'm not even going to say anything. I'm gonna keep it quiet because she won't send me my care package otherwise.
What are you drinking, by the way, Holly? Because what is that? Is that a beer?
It is
Stiegel. Radler.
It's a Radler.
What is a Radler?
It's kind of like a beer. It's very, very. It's like
with a bit of
high
lime
fruit
in it.
Content. Grapefruit.
Ah!
It's got a high grapefruit flavor. It's a
Ooh,
malt.
it actually
It's like
sounds
a malt.
healthy for a beer.
They're very good.
Is there a silver grapefruit flavor?
What? Did you say
What?
silver grapefruit? Is
Silver.
there does that exist?
She says it has a high grapefruit flavor. It says there's a silver grapefruit
Oh,
flavor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do-do.
I guess.
I'll be
There
here.
you
I'll be here for the rest of the night with terrible
there's
jokes.
a dad joke in there.
Terrible jokes and puns.
Try
you got
the
the right
veal.
guy. You got the right guy.
Look, there's so much to talk about, and we're already getting close to the 2-hour mark. But there is a couple of things I wanted to sort of run over just as a PSA. So Chang Fallen Feathers, played a little bit of that. It's really, really hard. It's probably not going to be on my hit list. Shout out to Nintendo too. Even with the $80, this is the thing. I sort of would back up Umbra's point. It's the fastest selling console ever is the Nintendo Switch 2 in the US, which is
Insane.
absolutely unbelievable.
And that's
I mean,
with
I'm a part of
that's
that.
with a higher price, by the way.
Yeah. But I bought, I'm not in the US, but like I bought a Switch 2, man, because if you're hitting graphics that are sort of PS4 sort of level graphics, and that's the promise, I'm happy with that. I think we got some pretty decent. It's some pretty decent graphics, and you've got your whole NVIDIA like AI stuff that's all PC that I've got no idea about. Don't know what that is. I don't even know what AI means. We're gonna move on to the one final.
But no, I'm with you there. That at the very least they got kind of close to modern visuals and technology, right? I guess there is that. But that was what did it for me too, man. I was like, I didn't get the Switch 1. I never owned it, although I got plenty of Switch games to play right now. Anyway, from Nintendo, I got some of them legally. Anyway, but Switch 2, I'm like, man, let me go ahead and invest in this. So I'm going to get a third party. I won't even waste my time playing third party on them though. I see people like, ooh, Cyberpunk. It's like, you can play that so much better on PlayStation, Xbox, or PC. Why would you waste time for it? Yeah.
And why did you say PlayStation first?
And cheaper, exactly. Literally cheaper. You're right, because Nintendo does not very rarely drops the price of their games.
I mean, for free on PlayStation.
There you go.
Well, not free. It's a subscription service. I'm sorry, PlayStation guys. I know it's not free. Don't get upset. Calm down.
I had somebody unfriended me for that one time. True story. I was talking about Game Pass, and I was talking about.
He said free.
You're right. They got mad at me because I was talking free. It was the choice words, and I wasn't meaning it that way. But I'm like, I get all this free. It's more like it feels free, and they got incensed. They blocked me, and I'm like, I thought we were cool.
It's not free.
Don't say that.
Gosh. He actually
It's
left.
a rental.
Who did? Fart?
What happened?
No, never mind. Damn it.
Oh.
Nothing. Like, yes. Never mind.
I think she was hoping to see. Well, you keep typing, see, Wolf. We like hearing your thoughts. We read them all.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Single one.
He's like, I ain't
Look,
nowhere.
the other PSA I wanted to say is like, and I am actually going to go back and play this game now. As Avatar is adding a third person mode later in the year. I think it's September, November, October, sort of around that back end of the year. I'm super keen for that. I will go and play Avatar. Not a big first person sort of guy, even though it is sort of a shooter. But I don't know. I just imagine that sort of world in a third person sort of view. So super excited. Shout out to Bethesda from Indiana Jones. Moving on. Okay, so the final topic I just want to talk about is Sona. That's how we say it in Australia. Sony partnered with Bandai Namco. They now own 2.5% of the company. Said it's a strategic partnership. They did release a statement, an announcement letter to let people know what the hell was going on. I'll read a little bit of it for verbatim, and then we'll move on. Sony Group Corporation today announced that it has signed a strategic business alliance agreement with Bandai Namco Holdings and has agreed with existing shareholders of Bandai Namco to acquire 16 million shares held by those shareholders. For details, please refer to the attached address. This business alliance and the acquisition of shares are not anticipated to have a material impact on Sony's consolidated financial result for the fiscal year ending March 2026, but it will in March 2027. And what I think we're all interested in is what kind of material impact will it have on Bandai Namco games coming to Xbox? Do we think that this will have any effect on Xbox at all? Umbra, going to you, sir. Do you think that this partnership is specifically to build exclusivity deals in third parties so that PlayStation can send across their first party and still keep their player base happy? It's a possibility, but I doubt it. How do you feel?
I wouldn't be surprised, us knowing how Sony typically operates, but seeing the moves they're making nowadays, well, maybe it's still possible. But what this is, and I hadn't read it myself at first when I shared it in my chat to speak on it yesterday, but I was illuminated to what the situation was, which was that they partnered with them for their anime portions, right? Because Bandai operates with a lot of those properties. So it's really for the anime push, I think, that side of things. It's a crazy amount that, by the way, because only 2.5% of shares and holdings, whatever, or shares, I said it right, that was $436 million for Sony to do that. First, I was like, what the hell y'all even get that much money to have to do that? But then I was like, okay, they got enough money. But yeah, it was really for the anime side of things. But I'm guessing that could play out with them, like you said, using that for third party reasoning with those third party games. So that animes and stuff like that Bandai does make those types of games. So it's very possible, and maybe even pulling games to their service, like the PlayStation Plus, things of that nature. I could see that possibly happening. I've been saying for a long time, I feel like if PS Plus was to be something that could be see real success, it would have to be with them including their Crunchyroll and stuff like that into it. Like that, Sony could really take it up a level because they have the excuse me, the entertainment side outside of just gaming. They have movies, they have anime. They're on lock. They have basically a monopoly now. So on the anime side, so why not put that into that and they could literally make PS Plus a must-have subscription service if they want it. They just refuse to do it. If this was Xbox and they had that, you best believe these things will be in Game Pass. So at least in the Ultimate tier, right? And I think Sony would be smart to do something like that. Hell, I might even subscribe if that was the case of getting games, added a year that you can get and every month rather, and an anime service and stuff like that, and movies. Absolutely, I would subscribe. So I think that's something they could do with this. Possibly, I just don't know if they would. But yeah, this is just more like, this is just more for the manga and anime side of things. I don't know how it'll play out, but at first my initial thought was this is them trying to inch closer and closer to Katakawa somehow and get the Dark Souls. That's what was my initial thinking, but it wasn't that. It was just about the anime and manga.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess the concern is for. Sorry, I'm just going back and forth. I'm actually going to address this in the chat because this is I find this absolutely hilarious. So,
Hey, what are the
Is it
little
semen?
icons? I'm so confused. What are the icons?
Is it semen? Did you say semen or semen?
Yeah.
Semen.
Yeah, no, it's
Semen's-
semen from now on. He's a semen. Yeah.
Semen twin.
So Rotzank NRM says why. So this sort of started in the chat. Is he was talking about asking whether we think it's a good thing. Xbox is so you like how Xbox raised the price of games and Nintendo. And I think what Seawolf needs to remember is that it's Sony that normalized the $70 games. And Seawolf said, oh, it was 2K who did that. Then Rotzank, who is also seems to be one of these guys, came in and said that EA did it. Actually, it was 2K that brought their first game up to $70. But it was PlayStation that normalized it throughout the industry. And they made that announcement going into the new generation. And so that's just the facts. And Rotzank, I do love this whole, like, the Crime-mobile. That would be actually cool. I might put that on my car. I do love this whole got a crime car thing.
Seawolf, my man. Please. Seaman, please.
Semen.
My man, please. You gotta be
Go
real.
spray
Dude.
somewhere else.
Let's be objective up in here, dude.
Nobody likes
We can't sit there and say nonsense like that, okay? Games are games, all right? Gamers are going to play the games. This is evident by the games that are selling in the top 10 on Sony's side that got released on the Xbox side. So you can't sit there and say no one would play these games because obviously people are playing them on both sides. So let's
Everywhere.
just
You've been
be
proven
more
wrong.
objective and actually enjoy the games as they come out on their own merit versus what particular studio is making it. That just sounds a little ridiculous, brother. So come on, let's be a little bit more adult about this, please.
It's
All right.
because he's stupid. Umbra, Holly, boom, nothing but bullies. No one plays Xbox games, guys. Are bullies. Maybe go find your own card, Brian.
Why am I a
What's that?
bully?
Says the man who's been trolling the entire chat
Is it
all
like
night long.
100% like
Right?
100% troll level?
I bet this dude is like 12 years old in IRL.
Do you reckon?
He's just
Wait a minute. Why am I and Boom and Holly? How are we bullies? Seawolf's Seaman.
Boom is like the nicest person on the planet. So
Right.
it's just
He is,
your contorted idea of
They're
He probably
just
told
upset
Seawolf to be
because
nice. All right, Seawolf. I see you in the chat. Just want you to be nice. And he's like, "Oh, you bullying me?" Like, what did he do? What did he do? What did I do to be like? What's going on?
you
here?
have a different opinion to them, and that upsets me. So
That's funny.
that's what it is. Anyway, let's get back on topic, back
this
on
is why
track.
Red blocked him.
Bandai Namco. Do we think these games are going to be blocked from coming to Xbox? They're going to use like a bit of a third party. I mean, it goes back to the whole PlayStation going third party thing. I don't think that every game's going to come across. It's going to be just the games that make sense. Same with sort of Xbox. We're not seeing every game come across. Just most of the games that sort of make a
They're
bit
all
more sense.
going.
That
That's not
they
true.
feel-
They're all going. They're all going.
Well, I don't think they are. I don't think South of Midnight's going to come across. I just don't think I don't think they found that it's going to be worth the port to bring it over. I don't think. I think maybe when Avowed do a huge DLC, when Obsidian does a huge DLC for Avowed, that'll probably come across. I think that's definitely worthy. But I just not because of any we're going to keep this one exclusive or the idea of exclusivity. I think they're just making those decisions based on pure business. So I don't think that they're all going to go. Not because of any any of those reasons. And I think PlayStation's going to be the same. I think they're going to have games that they bring over strategically. But are they going to start using these third-party deals to have exclusivity on one thing whilst they send their older first-party stuff across? Holly, before you go, let me say BT Maverick 707 celebrates 5 months of membership. Says panel flies 2. Riskit, where would you take them? What does that mean?
To Australia. There's a little flag. Australia.
Panel flies to Australia. Riskit, where would you? Right, gotcha. That makes a hell of a lot more sense. Panel flies to Australia. Every single Aussie pub that you should be scared to go in. I would take him in every single one of those pubs so they could really see what Australian.
I really want to do this. I would love this, to be quite honest.
I would love to walk in and watch Umbra walk in and try to do an Australian accent in front of
we
CD
get beat
pub.
down.
What are you saying?
We get
Now
beat
you bring it
down.
Nah, you didn't have to look
Hey, you
there.
bring it
Man,
Oh
I have
man.
quite a great Australian accent.
Oh,
here.
man.
What are you talking about, Ollie? Eh?
It's actually getting better.
We're
Getting better.
We're gonna get jumped. We're gonna
I
get
play
jumped.
it.
It's
It
gonna
is.
happen.
Thank you.
It's not great.
Buried
Gonna
out
give
in
me
the
some-
outback somewhere.
Gonna get me some Maccas, and chill,
You know, Holly's like, what's Macca's? Do you know what Macca's is? You call it Mickey D's. We call it Macca's.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
see, you would know that if you had the Australian speak down like that. But you don't.
Umbra does not like that we call it Macca's, and there's been some heated discussions about how we name things. But Macca's is what it is. So, Holly, Bandai Namco, do you think it's going to have any effect, this partnership? 2.5% of Bandai, Sony owning it. Any effect on Xbox? Negative effect, positive effect? Or do you think it's just a bit of a nothing burger?
I don't think it'll affect where the games go, especially after the announcement today. I don't think it affects anything. They've been
Oi,
kind of
SJ
split.
fan. My British accent is pretty good. Give me a bottle of water.
Oh
I'll
my
stop.
God, stop it.
Oh, please stop.
I'm sorry.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna affect it. They've been dancing around trying to figure out a way to own some portion of FromSoft for a little while now, right? So I don't think it's a big deal.
And
I mean,
it's
could
not
we get
FromSoft, it's Bandai, but
Could we get a push for a Bloodborne remake? The remake that everyone actually wants to see?
no.
I mean,
no, because that's all on Sony to do that right now, and it has been the entire time, and they refuse to do it.
Right.
So they could have done that. They own the IP. They could have done it at any time, and they have not done it. I would say it would be a smart idea for them to do it now that they are on riding the struggle bus, losing all those gas games. But we'll see if they do.
Right, Donte, you think that this Bandai Namco is going to have any sort of effect? My camera seemed to have died, so I'm just going to fix that while you...
I don't know. I mean, if they're doing what we think that they're doing, I don't see how, right? Because it seems like the idea is to be like, okay, how do we get? I mean, like, first off, Umbra was talking about most of this seems to be the anime play, right? But if it involves anything that bleeds over into games, I think the ideal seems to be like, how do we get games in front of more people instead of less? So I don't see how like it will. It seems like now these companies are saying what matters more is how many units we can basically sell to consumers, more so than the fanboys' feelings about games being exclusive. To be quite honest, that's just the way I look at it.
Right. So nothing burger is what we're feeling, Umbra. Are we feeling like this is just a no one cares?
Oh, that's
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of enough. Well, for now, it seems like it's a nothing burger, right? As our Hooves brothers tried to say about this current PlayStation situation and games coming over to Xbox, nothing burger. This one, I feel like we just have to see how the fruits of it's going to pay out. I think it's anime based. Is what it seems to be. I just don't know how Sony will use that, but it could play out in the form of them using it.
Hey, Bobby's there.
Yeah, well, there he goes.
Hey, Bobby, come to your flock, bro.
To your flock.
You need to check your friends, bro.
Rein them horses in, Bobby. I'll rein them in. But yeah,
you got some donkeys.
Hayes for horses. Get them in line, Bobby. But yeah, I feel like it could play out for, like I said, for third party. I think me and you will see it the same way, Donte. We just have to see how it plays out. I can see again them bringing it, but the messaging seems now that they're going to expand. So I don't know if there's even if it's a matter. I feel like it could still be that because Sony ultimately does still have a traditional setting for their consoles. I don't think they're fully ready to embrace going everywhere like Microsoft quite the same way just yet. They're trying to inch into it. Just 4 games. That's what they're at. That's the stage they're at now. But we'll see how it plays out in the long run. But I think it's anime based for now and manga based.
Mm-hmm. So absolutely nothing that helps Riskit out because anime. Holly, I know you're excited about the anime side of things. Do you want to speak to that for a little bit?
Here you go. Go. Next, let's skip. Let's move
on. I heard Umbra say manga, and I was like, "Yep, I'm out." I did not listen. That's a damn word he said.
Why was like, so anti-manga? What's up with that?
I heard all kinds of words that are foreign to me, and I'm okay with that. And I just said I didn't listen to any of it until I'm
going to put you on some manga and anime. I want you to check out. Okay,
no.
Check them out. I think you'll like them. I promise. I think you'll like them.
No,
give it a chance.
No,
she just refuses.
No,
Holly sounds like she's excited for manga stuff. Manga. Look,
I like mangoes.
I'm going to hide it out of mango.
I like it when manga goes. Look, it's been an absolutely fantastic show, and my camera's decided to just die for no particular reason. But I'm going to have to work on that
camera.
Salutations to the camera, son of a bitch. So yeah. Anyway, see you guys. Then I can. Holly, let people know where they can find you. What you'd be up to. Bobby, welcome to the show. It's great to have someone who's a sensible pony in the chat. We hate to use that word. Fantastic to see you here. We do appreciate your fair and even takes as opposed to Seaman Swim. Holly, let people know where they can find you. What you up to and how's things?
Yeah, on the road to trying to get the channel grown. Tomorrow night, US tomorrow night. So like it's 7 p.m. Eastern, which is like an hour earlier than this podcast starts normally. So do your math, 7 p.m. Eastern on my channel. I am going to be co-streaming a super rare arcade game with Mag. It is a game that was put together in the early 80s. And it was set to be on Laserdisc in the arcade panel, right, in the arcade cabinet. And they got it all ready and were ready to put it together, but the company, like the Laserdiscs died, right? They lost the war. And so the cabinets never came out. And the guy who made the game just like shelved his stuff. And Galloping Ghost, which is the largest arcade place in North America. Sorry, I'm talking too much. I apologize. Which is actually very, very close to me, had resurrected and went and found this creator and found the game on Laserdisc and ported it to PC. And they made 10 cabinets. That's it. That's all that's ever been made. One is at Galloping Ghost. And then it's on Steam. So Mag and I are going to stream that game tomorrow night, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Very, very excited for that. And then I think on Sunday I'll be back to do some more Oblivion, and I'm gonna try to make a video within the next week. So a lot of stuff going on. It was good to be here. Good to see you, Bobby. I've missed talking to you. I'm glad you're well. I think you're at least alive, so that's good. That's
Right.
it. Thanks, guys.
That's the only camera I can get to work at the minute, and it's
Bye.
Oh, and Meg said you suck.
Bye,
Riskit.
Riskit. There we go. All right, welcome back, Riskit.
This is the other.
This is side
This
panel.
is
Riskit.
my other view, and
Hey.
I do apologize. It's
Sideshow Bob.
It's 720p, and the lighting's horrific. Donte, let the people know where they can find you. What you be up to? You just. Why have you gone quiet? Donte?
Donte, Riskit was throwing it to you.
Oh, what's cracking? Hey, so what's up, man? Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Donte J. Moody. I'll be here all night. Not joking. You can catch me on the socials, Donte J. Moody. Catch me here on Fridays. Hey, first off, shout out to everybody within the chat, even from a couple of our detractors who, for some reason, just really wanted to push a console war narrative. We appreciate you for at least coming in and being respectful. So you can come in, you can disagree. I'd prefer if you come in, we can just talk about games and we can just judge games on that particular merit. But I appreciate that you guys came in and you were actually respectful and didn't get to any mudslinging. So, yeah, you guys are still welcome back. But thanks to everybody else who came in and hung out with us, our usual family. We appreciate y'all. You guys keep us going. You guys rock. And obviously you'll catch us here next Friday. So peace and love to you guys all. Have a good, hopefully next Friday, right? Are we on next Friday?
Yeah,
Okay. What's up with your camera, bro? What's happening with the camera?
I don't know. It just died. It just dies, and if I don't reboot the computer, it doesn't come back to life.
We'll catch you guys back on the next time. Have a good weekend, everybody.
So I got to. This is why you do not buy an Apple.
Yes.
Yes. He said it.
Yes.
He said it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You learned it.
Thing
I'm
we
running
all knew.
a lot off this.
Look at
I'm
you.
running a lot on.
Look at you.
Thing we all knew.
Click those links in the chat. You can also head down and click those links in the description. Quickly jump to. I would just disagree with the whole respectful thing. There's this whole crying in my car narrative that never fucking happened. If you haven't seen a 44-year-old man that's worked his whole life and has had zero to the minimal amount of fucking sleep since he was 19 because he's got 5 kids, that's what it looks like. It's a watery-eyed man with a coffee. Got fuck all to do with crying. But none of you would say that to my face, and that's fine. Maybe if we're at the next gaming convention, you can come over and be like, "Hey, crying in your car." Ha, ha. We'll see how that goes for you. Umbra, shout out to you. Fantastic show. Let people know where they can find you, what you're up to. Links in the comments, links in the description.
Yeah, man, great show. Happy to be here with you all. Holly, welcome back. Need my care package. As far as me, you can find me on Twitter.
Oh, what is your care package?
She sent one to
Who's giving who a care package?
she sent
Anyway,
the care package to what's her name to Lotus. I want one.
People sharing their packages now.
But
you guys, here
you
you guys go.
If
Here you go.
You can find me either way. I put my link in the chat. Rather, if you all have not subscribed to the channel, please do so, and come by and check out me and Danny on the Fix on Thursdays at 8:00 Eastern. We have a really good time. Seaman Swim, you are even welcome to come through and be mocked and bullied. Since I'm a bully now, but yeah, come by. We definitely would appreciate you guys patronage, if you will. As far as what I'll be up to, I'm definitely going to finish up on Monkey Punch Rock, and I don't know. Oh, I'm going to try out the Wu Chang, by the way, too. I'm about to download it before I started to get on here, but I'll download that once I get off and get some time in on that as well over the weekend. And of course, also too, just to throw it out there, since I'm always there. The GCP Discord. If you all have not joined that, check that out. That's run by that's run by KSNT and Everboy. Like that look was it's like I saw it a mile away. It's run by Everborn, and KSNT is a great Discord. I would normally recommend mine, but I don't talk enough on there. But you all could still feel free to join mine. But the Discord,
I mean, yeah. I would love to see Seaman Swims jump in there, like and just get absolutely wrecked. Dude, you'd last about 30 seconds.
Yeah, you wouldn't like that.
He would like that.
Yeah, he would not like it there. But you all should.
No, I think he would. Honestly, I think he would. I think he likes to debate.
You like to debate?
I think he likes to debate. I mean, that's why he's here, right? To debate.
I'm calling him that damn name now.
I don't think he likes facts, though, and he's going to find a lot of factual information in that Discord.
But he will debate his opinion of the facts. So, I mean, I'm being honest, right? Like, I really think he would actually like that.
Come on through.
You should do that.
We'll see. We'll get you right. We'll get you right. We'll have great debates and talks. But yeah, and what else was I going to say?
I just see Holly's now like any console warrior that pops up on Holly. She's like, head here. It's a great place for you. This we have
a great place for you.
GCP's like, what's going on here? These guys coming through.
They like to debate too. That's
Indeed.
Yes, they do.
It's the perfect place for debate if you want to come through there, Swim. But yeah. I'm being respectful just by calling you Swim, because otherwise, yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone in the chat, by the way, for coming through. Riskit, I don't know if you were saying anything.
Oh, Riskit. Riskit, take us on.
Oh, damn it, I'm muted. Yeah.
Take us on.
I was going to say, Swims definitely head to the GCP, and they're not Xbox fans realistically. In fact, there's a couple of jaded Xbox fans. They're more PC guys. So, yeah. And when it comes to facts, my friend, I think if one jumped up and bit you on the rear end, you wouldn't know it. That rhymed. Is that a crime? Anyway, Donte looks like he's painfully hurt. He's like, oh my God, that hurt. It's been absolutely fantastic. It's been a fantastic show, guys. Thank you for coming through. Apologies for being late, technical issues and sleeping in, all that sort of stuff. We'll see what's going on next week because I'm still work's still always up in the air with stuff. And yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat. You guys have been absolutely amazing. We appreciate every single one of you coming through every single week. 574 people came through this week, so I really appreciate it. All of you guys, thank you. And we'll see you all in the next one and stuff.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.